Howdy, and welcome to another wonderful trash take. So the Epstein client list or the Epstein files are finally out. I don't quite. It's out, but it's not out for everyone. I don't know if that makes sense, but they've released a binder with a bunch of the files in it apparently, but it's only gone to like a bunch of conservative retards. Like it was like some publicity stunt essentially. Like so just to show y'all what I mean. You got this retard called DC Drano on Twitter who apparently has his hand on it. And he's got a copy of it and like a bunch of other people too, but it's just like a physical copy. It's not digital and it's not online, and apparently it's not the full thing either. They're saying that the documents are also being held at a separate location, but they've been like told they have basically till tomorrow to bring them back or they go to jail. And then there's also this letter going around. I don't really know the authenticity, but it's from the Attorney General to Director Patel. Before he came into office, I requested complete and full files access to Jeffrey Epstein. In response to this request, I received approximately 200 pages of documents, which primarily consisted of flight logs, Epstein's client list of contacts, and a list of victim names and phone numbers. I've repeatedly questioned whether it's the full set of documents responsive to my request, and repeatedly been assured by the FBI that we've received the full set of documents. Late yesterday, I learned from a source at the FBI office in New York was in possession of thousands of pages of documents related to the investigation and indictment of Epstein. Despite my repeated requests, the FBI never disclosed the existence of these files. When you spoke yesterday, you were surprised as I was learned of this new information. By 8 a.m. tomorrow, February 2nd, the FBI will deliver a full and complete list of the Epstein files to my office, including all records, documents, audio, video, and blah, 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 blah with his clients. There will be no withholdings or limitations to my access, to my or your access. The Department of Justice will ensure any public disclosure of these files will be done in a manner to protect the privacy of the victims and in accordance with the laws, as I have done my entire career as a prosecutor. I am also directing you to conduct an immediate investigation to why my order to the FBI was not followed. You will deliver to me a comprehensive report of your findings and a proposed personal action plan within 14 days. I appreciate your immediate action to this important matter, and I know that we both committed transparency for the American people, and I look forward to working with you to serve our president, our country. So it seems like Trump's people are eating themselves right now. The Ouroboros snake is just keep going. You got the Attorney General now attacking Patel for apparently not giving her the full files, and then they're also still releasing a bunch of files to the public, which it's not like public. It's a bunch of random conservative influencers. I think the most notable influence here, if you look at this fella right here on the left, you might know him from his famous lines of like every 24 hours a day passes and pulling a D's nuts joke on Andrew Tate. He's also apparently got his hands on the Epstein file list, so I'd look out. If you're not a Greg fan, today's a bad day to be alive. But yeah, you can see on the file that this is called Phase 1. So I guess this is the immediate files they had on hand to pass out. But like I said, it's also like it's available to the public, but no one can actually figure out how to access it unless you're these people that receive these binders. So doesn't quite make sense to me. I don't know. This wasn't the transparency I was hoping for. And a bunch of people on Twitter are also rightfully upset, a bunch of conservatives that didn't get it, essentially. Because this looks more like a publicity stunt than anything else on here. So, yeah, Epstein files are out, but they're not out. But they're also conservatives now attacking conservatives. So I think this is going to get really funny before it fixes itself. I want to see the files just because I myself am curious. I think this is a lot of like every elite person you know that was attending these parties probably did some bad shit. I know Trump's been on the logs. I know Bill Clinton's been on the logs. I know Bill Gates been on the logs. Basically, every single person of notoriety has been with Epstein or done something with Epstein at some point. Whether or not they went to the sex island with the sex dungeon, I'll leave that up to public speculation unless the files specifically say where they went. I don't even know. It's a terrible thing to think that the richest people in the world just get bored and start having sex with minors, but it looks like that's exactly what happened across the board here. So yeah, anyone found guilty of this should probably spend the rest of their life in a very dark hole with very little food and water. But you know, I can't say to kill them because I'd probably get demonetized, and I can't advocate for killing because then I've also been making fun of people for advocating for killing when they don't get their way. So I gotta actually set some grounds here and have a cohesive mindset, so I'm not just an incoherent retard all the time, you know. But yeah, just to summarize, the Epstein files are out, but they're not out unless you're a really fancy conservative. I bet Asmongold was really wishing he took Trump up on that White House press pass right about now. He'd probably have his hands on one of these binders too, and that would be absolute crazy content. Though I don't imagine. I gotta imagine most of it's redacted. I don't. When the government uses the word transparency, I just think of it, we're putting another layer over it to hide the people we want to hide versus showing everything. Because I genuinely believe the government's almost always corrupt, no matter what happens, no matter who's in charge. For the most part, that's why I always thought Doge was pretty interesting because it seemed like it was exposing corruption on both sides. And even like the Data Republican, a really famous Twitter account that actually was making basically a neural network to show all of the different NGOs and nonprofit charity organizations that existed and how they were receiving taxpayer funds and how each charity was donating from each other charity to basically go to different slush funds of different congressmen and their spouses running shell companies. And most of the time, these companies, they were on like executive positions that were nonprofit, but they're still giving their executives six-figure salaries. So everyone else is doing charity work, but the director's getting paid buckets, and the director was almost always family related to someone in Congress. They got doxxed for that, which is fucking crazy to me, that you are doxing someone who is neutral, who is exposing corruptions on both the left and the right. How fucking stupid do you have to be to think, yeah, this is a bad person? They're showing how terrible this world is, actually exposing people for the misdeeds. Oh, no, we can't have that. You're fucking stupid. But that's modern day politics and modern day America for the most part. Thank you guys very much for tuning in. Let me know what you think about this in the comments down below. If you liked the video, feel free to like it, comment, or subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one. Until then, later.